Yo guys, what is up? It's your boy TRUEDBZK back with another video. And today we got something pretty interesting to talk about. So, EVO 2024. We now have the full roster of the featured titles of EVO. And surprisingly, Dragon Ball FighterZ did not make the cut this year. But I will talk about the games that have made it in just a second. But I just want to say, it's kind of surprising Dragon Ball is not here this year. I know Dragon Ball's been on EVO since it practically came out. I'm pretty sure Dragon Ball FighterZ was at EVO, like, Dragon Ball FighterZ came out in 2018. I'm pretty sure it was at EVO, the EVO before then, as like a demo or something, but it's pretty much been at EVO as a featured title since it came out, and this is the first year that is not a featured title, which is very surprising considering Dragon Ball FighterZ is getting rollback, and I'm pretty sure by the time EVO comes around, we will have it, so the player base will be rejuvenated by that point. So it's kind of surprising, but considering how old it is, it's 6 years old now, and honestly, when you take that into effect, it's not totally surprising, but it kind of shocked me a little bit, but looking at the games I see on screen now, it makes a lot more sense why Dragon Ball didn't make the cut. So, speaking of the other games, so the 8 different titles for this year's EVO is Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Guilty Gear Strive, Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, Under Night in Birth, Mortal Kombat 1, KOF 15, and as the classic game, it is Street Fighter 3rd Strike. So honestly, every single game in the top part, including Mortal Kombat, Under Night, is not surprising for me. Sorry. KOF, I actually don't really remember this game at all. I'm pretty sure it is a classic or a legacy series for the fighting game community, but I've never personally interacted with King of Fighters or any of the games before, so. And I'm pretty sure, well, when did that game come out? I'm actually not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's a couple years old at this point, so. As a person that's probably more into the FGC than I am, it probably makes more sense that KOF's here. But as for me, who's never really interacted with this game before, it's kind of shocking that KOF made it. And of course, the last slot, that being a classic throwback game, I think they're calling it. So every EVO past last year's EVO will have a throwback game as one of its featured titles, and last year was Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and this year it's Street Fighter 3 3rd Strike. So yeah, so Dragon Ball FighterZ didn't make the cut this year. It's wow. Like I said, considering Dragon Ball is gonna get a bit of a resurgence with rollback coming out probably within the next month or two. That's my hope. It's actually kind of surprising that it didn't make the cut this year. Now there will be side tournaments as well. Like pretty much every fighting game has their own side tournament at EVO, but these are the main stage games. And wow, it's pretty stacked this year. You know, Street Fighter 6 started off with a bang. Even though there is some interesting things going on in the Street Fighter community, it's still a fantastic game, and it's still doing quite good in terms of numbers. Tekken 8 literally just came out, so I suspect that Tekken 8 might have the biggest roster of players at this EVO, considering how big it is, and the fact that just the overall reception of Tekken 8 has been majority like really positive, like probably even more than Street Fighter 6 when it came out. So I expect Tekken 8 to completely like steal the numbers game when it comes to how many participants will be in this tournament. So Tekken 8, obviously. Guilty Gear Strive, not really surprising for me, considering it's pretty much Arx's main game right now. Dragon Ball FighterZ hasn't been, well, I shouldn't say it hasn't been relevant, but it's been on a decline like rapidly over the past couple years. Blaze Blue, I don't even think they're doing Blaze Blue anymore, or at least not to my knowledge. So Guilty Gear Strive is pretty much their main game, Arx's. So I guess that makes sense. You gotta have at least one ArcSys rep, I suppose. Well, actually no, because Grand Blue is made by ArcSys, right? Yeah, Grand Blue is made by ArcSys as well. So I guess ArcSys has 2 games here. So Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, once again, literally just came out, what, like a couple months ago? So honestly, it might have the 3rd highest number of interests. I still think Tekken and Street Fighter are going to be the top 2. And then number 3, number 4 probably is going to be Grand Blue and Mortal Kombat. At least that's my prediction. But yeah, Grand Blue Fantasy Rising makes sense. Just came out. Under Night, don't know anything about this game. But I know it just came out as well. So obviously it's going to have higher numbers. And, you know, people are going to be really interested in Under Night. I'm personally not invested into the game. But I know some of my friends are, and I know that, at least from what I understand, people are really enjoying the game right now. So hopefully the devs keep the momentum up and it'll survive much longer. Mortal Kombat 1 is a given. You pretty much always have to have a Mortal Kombat game at EVO, and Mortal Kombat 1 is just the most recent one. And then KOF, like I said before, I don't really know much about KOF whatsoever, so I don't really have anything to say about that. And then Street Fighter 3, I've never played any classic fighting game before, so I don't know anything about Street Fighter 3. I know it's considered to be one of the best fighting games ever created. It's definitely within like most fighting game players, like top 10 at the very least. So, you know, I pretty much at this EVO, I'm gonna be watching EVO as well. This might be the very first time I've actually sat down and watched an actual Street Fighter 3 tournament. So that's going to be really interesting to watch as a spectator. So overall, what do I think of this lineup? I think this lineup is pretty strong, honestly. All the games here, besides KOF, because I don't know much about them, I pretty much agree should be here on this lineup. If there were any game that I would substitute, it would be KOF for Dragon Ball, but I do understand that Dragon Ball has pretty much had its entire run in EVO. You know, there hasn't been a single year besides this where Dragon Ball FighterZ wasn't there. So, you know, with all the current games releasing now, and the fact that I guess KOF is just more popular than Dragon Ball at this point, it makes sense, right? But overall, like Street Fighter 6, Tekken, Strive, Grand Blue, Under Night, Mortal Kombat, like all those choices make sense to me. The classic game, obviously, is no spot for Dragon Ball there. And so, yeah, this roster looks really, really good for games. And I'm really excited to check out EVO this year because majority of these games I haven't played. I haven't played Tekken, Under Night, Mortal Kombat, KOF, or Street Fighter 3. So it's going to be really interesting watching these games at a high level because I don't know anything about these games. But yeah, Dragon Ball is not at EVO this year. So what do you guys think about this development? Do you guys think this is the end of Dragon Ball? Do you guys think the rollback will have a resurgence and maybe as a side tournament, like really bring in the numbers? Do you think that because of this, Dragon Ball FighterZ is just going to keep declining in terms of players and tournaments and stuff like that? Or do you think that, you know, maybe FighterZ players will migrate to a new game, you know, in this lineup? Do you think that'll happen? But yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. If you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more fighting game content in the future. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for me today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Sayonara.